Celebrities who tested positive for COVID-19. The coronavirus pandemic has placed the entire world on a mad scramble for a vaccine and put millions in quarantine. Since the outbreak began in China, it has spread all over the world and it does not discriminate. This is a list of the famous personalities and celebrities that have tested positive for coronavirus. Tom Hanks and Rita Wilson. Tom Hanks and Rita Wilson shocked the world when they revealed they are positive for coronavirus while in Australia. On March 12th, Tom took to Instagram to break the news about having COVID-19. In his post, Tom writes, "We were tested for the coronavirus and we were found to be positive." He also added, "The medical officials have protocols that must be followed. We Hanks will be tested, observed and isolated for as long as public health and safety requires." Since the announcement, Tom Hanks has been posting on his Instagram account to give his followers an update on their recovery. As of March 15th, the couple had been released from the hospital and were in self-isolation. Tom Hanks and his wife were among the first few celebrities to come out with the news about their coronavirus diagnosis. They are currently in self-isolation in a rented home in Queensland, Australia. Tom Hanks was in Australia to film an Elvis Presley biopic, which had to be shut down. Idris Elba. Idris Elba is another high-profile celebrity who announced he was positive for coronavirus on his Instagram account.
I got some test results back for coronavirus and it came back positive.
Unlike Tom Hanks though, Idris Elba exhibited no symptoms, but he has been isolated since finding out about his positive result. The 47-year-old got the confirmation about his COVID-19 diagnosis on March 16th. So far, Idris Elba claims that he feels okay. He has been in isolation since Friday, March 13th, even before his test results came out, when he found out that he had been exposed to someone who tested positive. He made an announcement about his diagnosis in a video post on Twitter. In that same video, he encouraged everyone else to practice social distancing and frequent hand washing. He pointed out that there could be many out there like him who are asymptomatic. While Idris was very positive about his prognosis, he warns everyone else to stay home and be pragmatic. He also notes in his video announcement that now is the time for thinking about each other. There are so many people whose lives have been affected. On March 18th, Idris posted another live video on Twitter to encourage people to stop spreading false information about the virus. In particular, he addressed false theories that black people are immune to COVID-19. He calls it dumb, silly, and dangerous for others to be spreading false information like that. He also used the live video as an opportunity to answer questions from his followers about his health status. Idris claimed that he had to be tested for the virus upon having contact with a person who tested positive because he was about to start filming a new project. It was imperative so as to prevent him from infecting others on the set. Currently, Idris Elba is advocating for more test kits to become available. He believes that early testing is the key to stop the spread of the virus. Since he has asthma, this places him in the high-risk category for contracting the virus. Sophie Trudeau. Another high-profile figure that was added to the list of those who tested positive for coronavirus is Sophie Trudeau, the wife of Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. The news of her positive diagnosis came out on March 12th, although she was tested right after she had a speaking engagement in the UK. Upon returning home, she experienced mild flu-like symptoms. Sophie immediately placed herself in self-isolation. The health officials in Canada immediately reached out to those who had been in contact with the Prime Minister's wife following the confirmation of her results. As for the Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, he exhibited no symptoms and has not been tested. Those who had been in contact with the Canadian PM have no reason to fear, the officials from his office said. His office did release the following statement. As a precautionary measure and following the advice of doctors, he will be in isolation for a planned period of 14 days. Following Idris Elba's confirmation of his positive coronavirus test, there were many speculations that the person he referred to have been in contact with was Sophie Trudeau. However, the English actor was careful not to say who it was. Both Idris Elba and Sophie Trudeau appeared in the We Day UK charity event in London on March 4th, wherein Idris Elba was seen hugging the Canadian Prime Minister's wife. Rudy Gobert. Utah Jazz center Rudy Gobert was the first player in the NBA to have tested positive for the coronavirus. The news of his diagnosis came out on March 12th, and this prompted the NBA to suspend the season until further notice. The announcement was made right before the tip-off of a supposed game between the Utah Jazz and the Oklahoma City Thunders in OKC. The NBA stated that the decision was to protect the welfare of the players, staff, and fans. After a few days after the news of his diagnosis, Rudy Gobert took to Twitter to give an update about his condition. He also apologized for touching the microphones and recorders during the media event, claiming that he wasn't aware that he had the virus at that time and that he did it as a joke. The said event took place on March 9th when he joked about it with the media. He has since apologized for his careless behavior. In his Twitter post, Gobert writes, "The first and most important thing is I would like to publicly apologize for the people that I may have endangered. At the time, I had no idea I was even infected. I was careless and make no excuse." He further adds, "I hope my story serves as a warning and causes everyone to take this seriously. I will do whatever I can to support using my experience as a way to educate others and prevent the spread of this virus." Despite the criticism for his careless behavior, he thanked everyone who sent him well wishes and positive energy. He says that he is feeling better every day. To show his regret over his actions, he pledged $500,000 in the employee-related relief efforts following the coronavirus outbreak and suspension of the league. Unfortunately, Rhode Island police have reported that a child who attended the Boston Celtics home game against the Utah Jazz tested positive for the virus. It was reported that the said child got an autograph from Rudy Gobert. A few days later, another NBA player was confirmed positive for the coronavirus. Detroit Pistons forward Christian Wood. Wood was matched up against Rudy Gobert in their March 7th game against the Utah Jazz. Donovan Mitchell. On March 12th, the Utah Jazz organization made a startling announcement on Twitter that another one of their players had tested positive for coronavirus. This time, it was their star guard Donovan Mitchell. The statement from the Utah Jazz organization was posted by Mark Spears of the ESPN on his Twitter account. According to the statement, the rest of the Utah Jazz team were tested by the Oklahoma health officials. One additional positive outcome was revealed, which was later determined to be Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell received an outpouring of support since testing positive for coronavirus. He quickly posted an update on his Instagram account to thank the fans for their support. According to Mitchell, "Thanks to everyone who has been reaching out since hearing the news about my positive test. We are all learning more about the seriousness of this situation, and hopefully people can continue to educate themselves and realize that they need to behave responsibly, both for their own health and for the well-being of those around them." Many believe that his statement was a slight jab against his teammate Rudy Gobert. The Utah Jazz center was heavily criticized for his reckless behavior at the press conference, days before he and Mitchell tested positive. Donovan Mitchell, however, states that he has no symptoms whatsoever.
Yeah, no fever, no symptoms as of right now, and I'm just blessed to be able to be okay.
Nonetheless, he promised to follow health protocols about his condition, stating, "I am going to keep following the advice of the medical staff and hope that we can all come together to be there for each other." The NBA health officials immediately contacted all of the teams that the Utah Jazz competed against in the 10-day span prior to the positive COVID-19 tests on Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell. These teams were urged to self-quarantine. Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant is among the list of famous athletes and personalities in the NBA to have been hit by the coronavirus. The NBA star is one of 4 Brooklyn Nets players who tested positive, as confirmed by ESPN on Tuesday, March 17th. Just like Jazz star guard Donovan Mitchell, Kevin Durant claims that he too is feeling fine and not showing any symptoms. Of the 4 Brooklyn Nets players who tested positive, only one is exhibiting symptoms. In a statement following the news of his positive diagnosis, Kevin Durant said, "Everyone be careful. Take care of yourselves in quarantine. We're going to get through this." The tests were conducted by a private company, and the Nets organization paid for those tests out of their own pockets. The Los Angeles Lakers team also underwent testing following the positive test results on 4 of the Brooklyn Nets players. All other players and staff of the Nets organization had been asked to remain isolated. They were also asked to keep monitoring their health and to contact any of the team medical staff if need arises. Olga Kurylenko. Former Bond girl Olga Kurylenko joins the list of celebrities who tested positive for coronavirus. The Ukrainian-born actress, best known for her role in Quantum Solace, wrote about her diagnosis on Instagram and posted it on March 16th. According to Kurylenko, she has gone on self-quarantine after having tested positive for coronavirus. The actress adds, "I've actually been ill for almost a week now. Fever and fatigue are my main symptoms." In an interview, the actress revealed that she had been taking paracetamol to bring down her temperature, but aside from that, she has been staying at home and getting the much-needed rest. As of March 18th, Kurylenko has revealed that her fever is gone, 3 days after testing positive for coronavirus. The actress made sure to remind her followers about the seriousness of the pandemic, saying, "Take care of yourself and do take this seriously." Callum Hudson-Odoi. The NBA is not the only sports organization to have been hit by the coronavirus pandemic. Callum Hudson-Odoi of the Chelsea soccer team has also tested positive for coronavirus. The announcement of Hudson-Odoi's positive test result was made by the team on Thursday, March 12th. According to the team's official statement, Callum displayed symptoms similar to a mild cold on Monday morning and has not been at the training ground since then as a precaution. However, his test came in positive this evening and he will undergo a period of self-isolation. The 19-year-old soccer player is feeling positive despite the diagnosis though. He confirmed on his Twitter account that he has been in self-isolation and is recovering with great progress.
I'm following the health guidelines and self-isolating myself from everybody for the week. I hope to see everybody soon and hopefully be back on the pitch very soon. Take care.
All the personnel from the Chelsea soccer team that has been in close contact with Callum Hudson-Odoi were also encouraged to self-isolate. Kristofer Hivju. Game of Thrones star Kristofer Hivju also tested positive for COVID-19. The announcement was made via the actor's Instagram on March 16th. In the post, he reveals, "I today have tested positive for COVID-19 coronavirus. My family and I are self-isolating at home for as long as it takes." The 41-year-old Norwegian actor plays the role of Tormund Giantsbane in the hit HBO series Game of Thrones. Upon experiencing mild symptoms of a cold, he got tested for the virus and has a confirmed positive result. He finished off his post by encouraging others to do their part to stop the spread of the pandemic. He states, "Together we can fight this virus and avert a crisis at our hospitals. Please take care of each other, keep your distance, and stay healthy." Rachel Matthews. Frozen 2 star Rachel Matthews is another victim of the coronavirus outbreak in Hollywood. The 26-year-old actress, who rendered her voice for Honey Marin in the 2019 Disney animated film, revealed to her Instagram followers that she had been in quarantine for a week. This was after her test for the coronavirus came out positive. In her Instagram post, she writes, "Hey guys, I tested positive for COVID-19 and have been in quarantine for the last week. Unsure of what the next step is, been getting mixed info, so we'll keep you posted. But obviously will remain in quarantine until told to do otherwise. I'm feeling better, but I will be posting some info that I hope will be helpful to some." She also used Instagram as a platform to share her symptoms in order to create more awareness about the coronavirus. Among her symptoms were dry cough, sore throat, headache, body chills, and shortness of breath. She urged her followers to get tested if they exhibit any of these symptoms. The actress, who currently resides in the US, said she underwent testing after coming into contact with a confirmed case of coronavirus. She goes on to say, "Treat yourself as if you're positive. You most likely are. Rest, drink lots of liquids, and self-quarantine." We will be keeping a close eye on the development of these stories. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you can be among the first to know the latest updates on these celebrities and the coronavirus pandemic. You can also click on the notification button so you will be notified when we have a new video.